can see there, it's Thomas Edwards, that's me, that is. And today I'm going to do what am I going to do? I'm going to do a what's in my toolbox review, where I show you all my tools and what I use and what I like the best, you know, what the pros and cons of all my tools and what I least use and everything else, because my toolbox is the extension of my hand, you know. If I didn't have my toolbox, there'd be nothing, you know. It's an extension. And at the moment I'm in between a couple of houses, and this toolbox would normally be in a garage on a trolley next to a bench. So when I work on my cars, you know, it's easy access. But because we're in between houses, I didn't want my toolbox going into storage. I wanted it with me because I knew we'd be doing car stuff, like on the YouTube channel. We've done Noel's build, and we've done JJ's done his interior, and the tools on that is out of this box. So it's on a bit of a makeshift, crude looking little wooden frame underneath the stairs. But I'm going to show you what's in my box and see what you think. Right, so I have to work with what I've got here, because I've got not a lot of room for the tripod to sit in, and not a lot of room for me to be in front of camera, so it's a bit of a difficulty. I could just show you the box with my hands, but you really need to see me when I'm showing you all the tools. So we'll try and work with it. If it doesn't work, we'll try something else. But this is my box, by the way. It's quite an interesting box in a way. It's had a bit of a history, and the way it's had a bit of history is it's been a guy had it as his breakdown box in the back of a Ford Transit, and he was a truck mechanic. So when I got this box, it was my dad's an engineer. Let me start with that. My dad's an engineer, and he gets given tools and boxes and all sorts of stuff all the time. All, you know, free, just gives them. And he knew I was after a bigger box. I was running out of space because I had too many tools. And he said, I've got 2 boxes in, and the other one was a Stanley box. So it was quite a shiny box, really. It's quite new. And he had this. And he was expecting me to choose a shiny box, because I like shiny things. But I chose this because it's a snap-on box. And I always wanted a snap-on box. And also it had character. But when I got it, it was a bit bashed up. And it needed... Me and Dad had to pull it out because it'd been sliding around the back of a Transit for years, you know, smashing against the sides of the panels. So we had to panel beat it, a few hammers, and we welded some hooks on it and pulled it up with a slide hammer and got it all knocked back out. And we got it to where it is today. Now it has got lots of stickers on from when the guy owned it, like it's got body shop stickers on it and Universal Tool, and it's got a recovery sticker on top. But I've added Swift Tune, that's a mini tune, and another mini there. And I've added a couple of Land Rover ones on top here. There's another one on the side as well. And on the top I always keep on the top of it, is my magnetic tray. Got a few wood screws in at the moment there. A couple of MG nuts and bolts that I have to keep hold of, so when I get new ones I know what I need. And so that's always on top. And then, like I was saying, oh, let me readjust myself. Like I was saying, it was on a crude frame. I just made this, knocked this up, bit of wood, with me impact driver, so I could sit it on, and I could sit underneath some tools as well. Right, let's open the box. Now you're not going to see my face here, you're going to see my hands. I've tried everything to get in camera to show you this, but it's just not going to work at the end of the day. I haven't got the space, I haven't got the right sort of size tripod to do this. It's quite a big tripod. So you're just going to see the bottom half of Thomas Edward in his hands. So we'll go with that. So right, this is the front of the box I've just shown you. So we'll open it up. Now, it's a bit of a mess on top. But if you don't have a messy box, you're not a creative person. Now there's lots of people out there, snap-on people, who have a really pristine box, everything in the right place. You know, all layered out to, you know, where everything is. But if you're a creative person like Thomas Edward is, and me I should say, you know where everything is, because you just know, because it's a mess, it's a creative mess. And a creative mess makes you have a creative juices, and when you want to be a creative, you know, it just goes with the flow really. So it's like, that's why artists are always messy. So on the top here, we'll get rid of all my oily rags. And then that's a car mitt, a wool car mitt for doing the cars. Always keep it near when it's dry. Oily oily rags. Always need oily rags on your tools. And then we're in the top here. Now I might actually bring you in a bit closer now. So this is the top of my box. So let's see what have we got. First, I had that was my dad's first snap-on keyring on his first box. Got that from a holiday coming back from Great Dorset Steam Fair, and they were the old keys to the lock, but eventually there'd be a new snap-on lock on them. So at the back I've got, that's a biggie, I've got extensions. Oh, come on, focus up. I've got extensions, so that's a 3/8 drive extension. There's quite a few 3/8 drive stuff in there. I've got a whole set of 3/8 drive, and they're all wobblies, so when you put your socket on the end, so if I show you, pull these, so I've pulled this 3/8 deep socket away. If you put that on the end, so going all the way on, then it'd be solid, but if you pulled it out slightly, it makes it a wobbly. So if you're up against, say if you're up against a bulkhead, or if you're up against underneath a car, doing, I don't know, an exhaust or something, and you want a bit of, so you're not smacking your knuckles against the underside of the car, you can come out a bit, and it works, and then when you don't need it wobbly, you push it back on and it's solid. So they're weight in gold there, they're wonderful extensions. So I've got a whole set of them, all really short ones, all the way down, and I've got a really stubby one. So they're great, they are. Use them quite a lot. I've never used that one actually. I've never had the chance to use that big, long of an extension. Then I've got 3/8 drive deep sockets, all the way from, I think it's a 10 all the way up to a, what is it? It's like a 24 maybe, something like that on the end. Can't really see. A 19. All the way up, 10 to 19 deep sockets. Use them quite a lot. Wonderful. And then I've got some old ones there, what my dad gave me, his old set. That's before I got them. Then I've got more extensions, but the quarter drive extensions for diddy ratchets like that. That's a Draper ratchet, that is. I've got a whole set of them. I've got a palm ratchet. You know, you put that in your palm like that with your socket on, you can get up behind stuff and ratchet away. And then I've got some quarter drive deep sockets in there. And then I've got a few Torques in there, but they're not very, there's a lot of shade off. There's only really one I use, and that's the one I use. It's a T50. I use it for taking seats out of MG ZRs. And then that's everything in the back. And then in the front here, bit of a mess, like I said, but it works. That's an old lock off there. I've got, most used tool is an extended breaker bar for doing wheels. Lovely thing this, I've had this since I was 15, 16 years old. It's quite a long time, used it on everything, that. Wonderful. Yeah, it's had a lot of use, that has. Then my next most used item go to is my Tang Tools 3/8 drive set. I use that quite a lot. I've had that since I was 14 years old. That long time, that came from I think my dad got me that. That came from a car place in Whitehaven, what's not there anymore, on the west coast of Cumbria. And then next to it I have a little backhoe drive set, what you might have seen me in my Noel videos using it as well. Lovely set. When I was studying theatre, a lad, one of the tutors said, get one of these sets, because when you do music festivals and you put in metal roads together, these are a great set for doing that. So I got that. And then there's a little set there what I used to use when I went to college, but I don't use anymore. It's quite a cheap set, that little Goodyear set. Underneath, I've got a Draper Expert impact sockets for when you do wheels, or if you put it on the end of a windy gun, or a battery powered wrench. They won't shatter. And then I put them on my breaker bar, so I do all my wheel stuff with that. Or when I do, when I take steering wheels off, I use them as well. Let's get that down there, that there. And then underneath my Tang Tools on this side, and among all the rubbish, I've got another set. Can't get it out. I've got in here I think it's, yeah, 3/8 drive, Allen key head sockets. I've never actually used these that often, to be honest. That one there, I think, is for doing diffs. I've never actually used them that much because I always go for my handheld ones rather than putting them on a ratchet. Yeah, they will come in handy though. Eventually, they will. I'll have a job for them. Put that in there. Back there. Now at the front, I've got a light that's not charged. Oh yeah, it is charged. So it is charged. I've got a light, a power hand, dead tough torch. Go any angle. Stick to anything. Look, it's going that way. It's magnetic. It's great. Use that a lot underneath cars. Got a hook on it. Wonderful. And car can run over it, not break it. But I mainly just go in my pocket and get me old light. You know, I only ever use that when it used to be in my garage. I don't really use it these days. Lights under here. Now at the front is all miscellaneous stuff I don't really use that much. I've got a spirit level. Always need a spirit level. In the end, I've got a pipe cutter, little screwdrivers, little adjustable spanners in there. I've got this. It's an extending magnet, but it's got I don't think it even works anymore. It's got there you go, a torch on the end of it. There you go, with a magnet on it, so you can go down in the end of the engine bay and find that 10mm nut you've just took off, but you don't know where it's gone. Up here I've got, this is brand new actually, well it's not brand new, it's old school, but just got given this off my brother's friend who was an auto electrician. It was his first ratchet and it was broken, but I took it apart, cleaned it out, and now it works like a gem now. So, and it's a Mac tool, so it's like second best to snap-on, or it could be snap-on second best to Mac tool. It depends what people like, but they're quite a well-known USA make they are. I haven't had a chance to use that yet, but I like the patina of that. And in the front I've got a few old school ratchet screwdrivers, you know, with flatheads. And these screwdrivers what I've chucked on top, because I'll show you in a minute, I've had a new screwdriver drawer rearrangement, and the stuff I wanted to keep I just chucked on top in case I used it. And underneath there's some Allen key and stuff, and there's some little breaker bars, a little half-inch breaker bar and a 3/8 breaker bar as well. Now let's go down to the first drawer and see what we've got. So we'll get into the first drawer here, and this is my screwdriver and plier drawer. Now there's flatheads in the middle, Phillips on the end, your crossheads Phillips, and pliers. So my new tool here I only got 2 days ago. Because my dad turned up and said, I've got you this. Now this was a passing comment I made to my dad the other week. I was like, I want a snap-on screwdriver, or a ratchet one. Listen to that. That's proper snap-on quality, that is. And this one only has one bit where it's got a flathead with it. Normally I've got quite a few bits in that. What I'll buy and get some done. They're great for doing, my dad's got one. My dad's got a long one with an orange handle, a proper 80s version. It's great for doing Jubilee clips on hoses on engines, you know, water hoses. They're great, they are. I can't wait to use that on my videos. Doing Noel. So I've made a space for it in there. It's a bit of a tight squeeze. Flatheads, these are about a couple of years old. These orange Franklin, from Gear F. It's not really a lot to show you about screwdrivers really, but other than the fact there's different sizes. No, not in order, as you can see. I would say it in a normal way. A very OCD person would have small flatheads or small Phillips going up to the big ones, but I haven't got a lot of room, and it's just the way they fit in the box, and that's the end of it really. I've had to make room for that. I had to take something out. I think I took that out to put it in. Now at the end I've got wire snips, long nose pliers, normal pliers. They came out of a skip, they did. I've got wire cutters. They're doing circlips with lots of different ends what are underneath. Got little pliers and some more long nose pliers there. That's about it. Oh, and I've got like a little monkey wrench, pipe spanner, whatever you call it, in there below. So we'll go to the next drawer and see what we've got in there. Now this is quite a heavy drawer. This is Now this is my spanner drawer. This is normally the people love the spanner drawers because they're the most used tools. You know, you always go and grab a spanner, don't you? You don't grab a socket set first, you grab a spanner. So here I've got all my metric stuff. So you know, metric, if no one knows, there's two different, there's imperial and metric. Imperial's old school, so when we measured everything in feet and inches, it was imperial, and then when it went across the centimetres, we all went into metric. So this is all metric, and that's mostly what new cars, but I do have at the back here an imperial set, so when I buy my first classic Land Rover, I'm ready, you know, because classic Land Rovers all got a bit of a mix between each one really, whatever fits. So I've got back here an imperial set, and I put this imperial set together when I got a big job lot of spanners, and I just made a set out of it. There's actually a snap-on one in there, so I think there's actually, no, I tell you what, there's a King Dick spanner in there somewhere. So yeah, that's my imperial set. I don't really use that until I get my classic Land Rovers, like I say. So metric in the front, bit of a jumble. The ratchet spanners are in order, so I like them because they're really good. And there's my new little snap-on ratchet I showed you in the update video the other day. I think I have actually got some sockets coming for that, I believe. In there I've got little ring spanners, you know, little tiny ones. They're great, use them a lot. They came from NEC in Birmingham, classic car restoration show they have there every year. And then there's some stubby spanners. So that's my drawer really, that's everything I've got in there. Not a lot of room, but does the job. And then we'll go to the last drawer at the bottom. Let's push that back in. Down here. So in this drawer, it's my hammer drawer and my big tools drawer. So there's a nice big hammer there. So actually I can feel it's loosening on that. I'll have to soak that in a bit of water so the wood swells up and catches me head of my hammer. Now I've got that. I've got a shockproof hammer. It's got little ball bearings in it, so it's shockproof. That's a great hammer, that is. And you don't want to hit anything without breaking it because it's got a rubber end. And then below there is a big screwdriver for doing grub nuts on, let's say, discs on cars. There's always a big screw that holds them in. That's for doing that. There's another, like, there's a big wrench underneath. There's a wire brush and a big adjustable spanner, and then a little wire brush there as well. Next to it, there's a little junior hacksaw, metal saw. There's these, well actually not that good to be honest, clamping off brake fuel pipes on cars, but they're not that good. I don't know why I've still got them. And then there's a vice grip there, and there's a little funnel, and there's some spare MG nuts in there as well. And behind it I've got tin snips, another big wrench, underneath there, that red thing there, that's a, what do you call them, a rivet gun, some drills under there. There's a body, that's a proper body beating hammer, that is, you know, for doing a bit of tinsmith, that is. And there's a little hammer, what I've had since I was 10 or 8. I think that was my first hammer, that was, but I've kept it because it's a nice little hammer, that is. So I'll keep that at the back of there. And there's some Allen keys there as well. Bit of a jumble, like I say. Messes creative juices going, you know, keeps me going. And that's about everything really. That's my box. Now I'll move the camera and we'll finish with that really. Right, so I hope you've enjoyed the Thomas Edward What's in My Box video of all my unordered tools in each drawer, but it's order in my mind anyway. You know, all the tools I work on my cars with, and everything else I work on. Even when I do woodwork, there's bits of woodwork stuff like the impact driver, and there's a couple of woodwork stuff when I said my drill box underneath. There's a couple of woodwork hammers in there and stuff like that, and screws. So once we get back in another house again and I get a garage, I'll probably do a garage tour and show him my box with its workbench, what's in storage, quite a nice workbench, and its trolley what it sits on. Now I will put a video up here of, I did a camera unboxing, camera lens unboxing very early on in the Thomas Edward channel, and that's actually in a very empty old Thomas Edward garage, so you'll see what my garage used to look like, but a very bare one. I hope you've enjoyed today. It's a bit of a new series I think I might turn it into, because I could go and visit other people's toolboxes and do an interview on what do they have in their box. That'd be quite a good one. We'll look into that. Stay tuned for that, because I like looking at other people's boxes and how they order the stuff and what tools they use for such jobs. You know, some tools are made for one job only and that's it, for all the way for the life, and some tools you use 24/7 for any job. So we'll do that. We'll do a Thomas Edward What's in My Box YouTube series, I think. And my box was the first one of the series. So if you want to see more of that, make sure you give us a subscribe. But don't forget, there's local history stuff, car stuff, showbiz stuff. Don't forget, there's lots of showbiz stuff. 2021 Thomas Edward Showbiz. Lots of stuff to catch up on. So give us a subscribe and give us a like, give us a comment, say what's, you know, if you've got a toolbox you want to come and if you work in a garage, for instance, you got a nice box you want Thomas Edward to come and review, or when you've got a toolbox in your own garage with your own classic car, you know, whatever, I'll come and review it. So drop us a comment, and drop us a comment if you want to see more of these videos and you enjoy tools the same as I do, and it's an extension to your hand. So drop us a comment anyway. And remember to click that big bell. Ding!